Hello, and welcome to the South Coast Artist Index, where artists, performers, and writers, as well as curators, directors, and supporters, anyone with ties to the creative community, drops by to introduce themselves to you. We'll talk about their beginnings, their vision, their passion, and so much more. And now, here's our host for today's podcast, Max Wickemeyer.
Well, this wonderful afternoon in April at the beautiful South Coast Artist Index podcast featuring Lynn Bailey Witty of New Bedford, who is a singer, a songwriter, leader of groups, small and large, who seeks as an artist beauty in all of her life's pursuits. She's really quite remarkable, has an incredible, deep, and wonderful many stories to share. I am sure this time will be spent quickly, and we'll be quickly through the hour or so of the podcast that we'll be doing, and we'll take it from there. So welcome, Lynn, to Spectrum Production, South Coast Artist Index podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. It's really a pleasure.
It's a pleasure for me too, hugely. When did you see yourself as a performance artist for the first time?
Thank you. It's a great question. I started performing as a child. So I just came out kind of performing early on. It was something that I naturally did as a kid, something that I just loved doing, and singing was part of it, acting, dancing, everything, the whole 9 yards, painting, and it's just something that I naturally enjoy. It just came naturally to me.
What was your earliest memory of having a creative expression, in a performance expression?
My earliest memory of having a creative performance expression as a singer, I would say, I guess, singing in church. As a little kid, we went to church, started singing, and then my choir teacher kind of pulled my parents aside and said, "Wow, this girl can sing. She can really sing." And my first solo was "This Little Light of Mine, I'm Going to Let It Shine." And and I just loved it, and I just didn't think twice about it. And then it just started from there, and then it moved on to auditioning for musicals and then getting the lead in shows, and my parents encouraged it. And then it was dancing and all kinds of things. So yeah, it just came naturally to me. And then walking around with a little tape recorder and a microphone and all kinds of things. So
now you were doing this for fun as well as profit, is that right? As a young performance artist?
Well, it started out as just for fun, and it was something that I really, really enjoyed, and my parents encouraged it, and they thought it was great, and it was just something that it came naturally to me, and I was never not creating and not doing things that I loved, and whether it was drawing and putting together little fashion magazines in my room and organizing my clothes and making everything beautiful and organized, and doing dance recitals, and then auditioning for shows, and singing and recording in those little tape decks, and doing those things, and then auditioning. And then one day I was watching TV and I saw these kids singing, and I said to my parents, "I want to do that. I'd like to go into New York, and I'd like to audition, and I'd like to go do that." And I wrote down the name of this place, and I said, "I'd like to go into New York, and I'd like to go do that." And they said, "Great." So they brought me into the city, and they said, we'll bring you in to go do that. And so I went in and I auditioned to go sing on the weekends, to go do that. And it was this really talented group of kids that were, already singing on Broadway and doing all kinds of things like that. And moving backwards a little bit, I had already had an agent and I was already doing things like that in New York. My parents were already supportive of that. I was doing print modeling and auditioning and things like that. And when I went into audition, they said, "What shows have you already done?" I said, "Well, I'm doing Annie, and I've already done all these things." And they said, "Well, we mean on Broadway." And I said, "Well, I'm not doing Broadway yet." I said, "But wait, just let me sing for you first." And then I sang for them. I auditioned, and they said, "You're in." So,
Great story.
so I started doing that on the weekends, and then that led to more opportunities to sing. So that was great, and that led to more to national print advertisements and all kinds of things like that. So it just led to more opportunities and more wonderful things, and so it was a great kind of opportunity for me to do that. So yeah, my parents certainly encouraged that.
I guess one of the things that we talk about frequently in the South Coast Artists Index podcasts, talking about creativity and expression and how we make that part of our lives. You, at a young age, had the opportunity to express your creativity and valued monetarily at a young age in terms of that reinforcement. And so it's just so refreshing to hear that story for a change.
Thank you.
Where instead of hearing the struggling artists, which is the reality, so that's why we talk about it, is the struggle frequently of having to keep the bread and butter, on the table or whatever, plus expressing, oneself creatively. As you moved forward in your, say, for example, teen lives of creative development, what is your most striking memory as a young teen or adult, as a singer or other kind of performance in the public arena?
Well, can we just rewind for a moment?
Absolutely.
I believe that there are multiple ways that you can make a living as an artist. And I don't believe that that you have to struggle as an artist. And I would encourage everyone that if you can find what you enjoy and what you're good at, that is the secret to success. And never work against yourself. Move into the direction of what you love and what you're passionate about, and go there. And my parents always encouraged that. And so for me, as an artist and as a human, I know what I'm good at. And so I can make, everything that I do. There are 1,000 things that I do. You might say that, those are a million different fields, but they're not really. It's the same creative energy. It's that same flow that when I go into that zone and I channel that zone, that same zone, that's the secret to success.
How do you channel that? How do you keep the focus going?
It's not hard for me, because I believe that when you're passionate about something, and when you're really good at something, and when you're really excellent, there's the secret. And when you can find that, and you can do that, and you know what that is, then you can get. Do
you have
done.
Dark moments?
I don't.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I feel I feel that. So for me, as a creative, as someone who is creative and knows what I need to do, it's singing, it's commercials, it's acting, it's putting my home together, it's putting my wardrobe together, it's recording music. It's it's teaching, it's all of these things. It's working as a makeup artist. So it's all of these things, creative things. But when you're doing those things, it's still in that creative zone. But you can say, well, you can't make a living as an artist. You can. It's painting. It's all of these things. But here's the thing. There are 1,000 ways you can make a living as an artist. But you have to, but it's about channeling that energy and thinking through what it is you want to do. Does that make sense?
Well,
so we can go back to the teen years and do that.
Thinking, I mean,
and channeling that energy, and then
it's the curating of the behaviors that's critical. The curating of the behaviors of what will foster development, right? And you can foster behaviors that aren't formative, and you can foster behaviors within yourself that are growth orienting, and you have ways clearly of channeling that positive energy, focusing on it, and moving forward. In a very, very, you have a very strong sense about you that it disguises your appearance in some ways, which appear to be somewhat of a, not a heavy duty person, right? If anyone can see the podcast, you're wearing this T-shirt that says "New Bedford is my boyfriend."
That's right, and that's to dispel, so you don't have to fight over me anymore. New Bedford is my boyfriend. So now that that's right. Well, it's meant to be a cute way of saying I love New Bedford. Someone had it on the other day in a coffee shop, and I said, "Oh, where do I get that T-shirt? That is just adorbs. I need one of those."
Everybody should wear it.
That's right. That's right. I think you can only find it here. So I put it on as a cute way of saying I like it here too, and I love that there's so much art here, and there's a lot of wonderful things happening here, and it's a historic city, and it's the whaling city, and why not? And I'm so happy to be here doing the podcast. And so anyway, I didn't mean to rewind and jump off topic, fine. But we can go back to you were asking about teen years.
Yeah, go ahead.
And what was your question again about that?
I would say the most thrilling or most exciting formative moments,
thrilling, exciting, formative moments.
Yeah, in the action.
In the action.
Yeah.
For teen years, in regards to
singing, being out, artistic. It could be painting too.
Or painting Well, first of all, I'd have to say, so going into teen years, I would say I had a variety as a teen. I had good teen years, so I'm lucky. I had a nice home growing up, good parents, nice family. I grew up in a wonderful home, wonderful grandparents, wonderful family of origin, dog and a cat, brother, mom and dad, good, wonderful things. And I had great teachers. My freshman year of high school, I auditioned to go to school for the arts, Walnut Hill School for the Arts. It's a boarding school in Massachusetts, and I decided I wanted to try that. And it's a world-renowned school for the arts. Students audition from all over the world to get in there. And so I decided I wanted to try that. So I auditioned and I got in. And I got in based on my vocal ability, my acting ability, my leadership skills, and my painting, the whole 9 yards. And then because I like to talk and I love people, I'm a social butterfly completely. I was class president. So I was class president, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for the year. I met a lot of people, and very talented students there. I enjoyed it. Some wonderful teachers there. some of the classes I was taking there were senior level courses. But then I decided I wanted to leave after a year because it was way up in Massachusetts, and at the time we were living in Connecticut, and I thought, it's kind of cold up here. I'm far away from all of my friends in Fairfield County, Connecticut, and I want to go home. I want to go back to being a normal kid, and I'm missing things like homecoming and prom, and there aren't a lot of boys up here. It was a lot of girls, and the guys up here are gay, and I don't have any problems with being gay, none whatsoever. Just want to say that. But I wanted to date. So I called up my parents. I said, I'm coming home. And my teachers there, they said no problem.
You want to date?
My teachers there were very disappointed. They said, oh, don't you want to go to Juilliard? Don't you want to do things? You have a 3.5 octave vocal range. When you sing up high, your voice is angelic. It's really beautiful. You can do things vocally that are so pretty, that are so lovely. Don't you want to stay? We really like to work with you. And I did continue taking voice lessons all the way through, even into adulthood. I trained vocally. Even though that's not what I studied, I did not go on to music school. I went on to study education, but I did train vocally. I said I'm going to leave.
Did you stay with the same teacher, or did you move? Change?
I took a variety of voice lessons from different voice coaches, and I was very lucky to have wonderful voice teachers, and that was very lucky. But I went home. And I was moving on to favorite teachers. So I went home. I was lucky to have lots of friends in different social circles. And I enjoyed my friends. One of my favorite teachers at home, I have to say, was my theater teacher and creative arts teacher. And that was also a favorite for me. And
what was the secret? What was the secret sauce for your teachers?
I would say I spent a lot of my time in school looking out the window because I was a creative kid. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny. I was watching the Actors Awards because I'm a Screen Actors Guild member, and a lot of those people say that too on the Actors Awards. They were looking out the window. They wanted to do other things, and I had a great imagination even as a kid. Just looking out the window, wanted to do other things. I wanted to do social things. I wanted to play.
What was the secret sauce of the teacher?
Secret sauce of that teacher?
Yeah.
She kept my attention. She was one teacher who kept my attention.
Your head was bouncing around, and your head was
She kept
pivot.
my attention.
Well,
you know why she kept my attention?
Yeah, great.
It's a great question. She kept my attention because it was creative. Because she brought me into the world of creativity. I was a performer. It was about theater. It was about the arts, and it was about writing. I'm a writer. I'm a creative. How can I get up on stage and do something? What are we going to do here? So again, what is the point? Why are we here? What is the goal?
I don't know. Tell me.
And no. I'm not saying not saying the podcast.
I want to hear your answer.
Podcast. I'm not saying the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm saying, why are we here? Otherwise, I'd rather be outside. I'd rather be doing something else. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of like, what was I interested in? Art, philosophy, performing, music, singing, doing something. Let's go out and do something. Fine.
Is that what the teacher was getting you to do? To go outside, or?
Well, no, I'm saying if you're not catching my interest, then I'm somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm somewhere else.
All right. So
right.
So
if it's not beautiful,
well, yeah.
If it's not beautiful,
mm-hmm.
if it's not interesting,
mm-hmm.
I'm somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'd rather do something else. What is the goal here? What is the focus? What is the point of what this discussion is? There's someone up there and they want to talk and they want to do something on and on and on and on and on. Otherwise, what is the point of what we're doing here? So, do you see what I'm saying? And so as an educator too in school, there was a lot of this on and on and on and on and on. Otherwise, I'd rather be doing something social. I'd rather be doing something creative. I'd rather be making something. I'd rather be seeing something beautiful. I'd rather be doing something social. I'd rather be outside. I'd rather be, wouldn't you? I'd rather be at lunch. I'd rather be
I think there's
writing something.
I think there's a
right
lot
there.
of action and movement involved. I don't think any of this is static. All right. I mean, or
I'm
maybe
just saying,
I'm wrong.
as a student,
Yeah.
and as an actor,
Yeah.
and as a performer, and as
a person, maybe.
Well, and everybody, people's brains are wired differently,
For
and
sure.
people's skill sets are wired differently. Someone else wants to study science. Someone else wants to study math. Someone else wants to study physics. Someone else wants to do something else. For me, I'm moving on to do things like I'm becoming a preschool teacher. I'm doing Toyota commercials and national print advertisements for CD-ROM and for, national campaign against drug abuse. I'm singing, I'm doing, Dora the Explorer jingles and all, commercials and things like that. And I'm, doing, I'm being featured for women who inspire us. So I'm not interested in physics and math and all this other stuff. It's like, what is the goal here?
Let me ask you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's the point? Why are we sitting here for hours in classrooms? I'd rather take students outside to do things. I'd rather have them paint. I'd rather have them draw. And then I'd rather do a performance.
In terms of your
I'm writing my own
early,
music.
in terms of your early development, you were considered yourself precocious, I would say, or really
I wouldn't
fast.
use precocious, but I don't know.
Would you be okay with that?
Precocious? I wouldn't say precocious.
Okay.
I would say that I was a normal child, but I was very social.
How about early reading?
Oh, I taught myself how to read.
Okay. And singing in church, do you know how old you were?
Oh, I was about 7.
7.
I had a I guess they said I could sing really well, and
We didn't really talk about it directly yet, so I'll mention the fact that you have a master's in child education.
I do.
That's University of Arizona?
So I went to University of Arizona. I was in a sorority, and I have a master's in education from Sacred Heart University.
Is that okay? The Sacred Heart University. The question is, in terms of development of the creative soul, if you will, or the creative aspect, the artistic aspect. Are you born with that? Can you teach people that? Can people be taught the artistic expressions?
Can people be taught the artistic expressions? I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't think anyone really cares what I think. I think they care about you. And what's fascinating is that you've expressed a lot of innate kind of expression. But your education is, and for children, I would think, a lot of it is directly related to bringing artistic development out of children.
Oh, well, it's an interesting question. Can they be taught artistic expression?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I mean, as someone who studied early childhood education, I would say I studied early childhood education, and I would say watching children early on and having my own children, I would say that my belief is to let children be and let human beings be who they are. I also have a degree in human development. I have a bachelor's degree in human development. So I study humans. And so I believe, my feeling is to actually relax and let people be who they are. I don't believe in forcing people or controlling people. And so I am a big proponent in setting up an environment that allows people to be who they are and setting them up for success. And so what that looks like for me is to set up an environment that sets them up to create and sets them up to explore, and it sets them up to feel happy and encouraged to be who they are, who they already are. And so I believe that that there's creativity in everyone, and that there's exploration in everyone, but to what degree, and allowing people to be who they are. And so I for my children, for example, in my own home, I let them, I set them up to have chalkboard paint on the walls, and draw as much as you want to, and all kinds of music instruments and all kinds of things, and play as much as you want to, and also in all kinds of. I set up an area, an art studio in my own home to paint because I love to paint. And I just sing and I write whenever I want to, but I never force it. And so I believe that people can create as much as they want to. And I believe in the classroom, students are also, it's so funny, kids will create, but that some of them are not as interested. Some of them want to go over and do dramatic play, and they want to play and they want to do those things. And some of them want to dress up and they want to do those things. And other ones want to make blocks, and some of them want to knock it down.
What brought me into the arena with you was the vault and the open mic.
And I love that, and I'm looking forward to doing more there. And I was so excited to apply for the podcast and to be a part of this artist network, and I think it's wonderful. So, singing, independent radio has featured some of my work on folk radio and WICN.org folk radio. I did a nice little rendition of What a Wonderful World. I love that song, and I have a great ear. If there's one thing I'd have vocally, it's a great ear. And so I heard What a Wonderful World, and I wanted to put my own spin on it. And there's something about that song, What a Wonderful World, and I just love it. So I came up with my own arrangement of it, and then they decided to feature it on folk radio. I come up with my own performances, and I pick different spots, and then I just kind of threw out, some invitations for performances. I didn't throw them out there. I picked, places, and then they decided to feature on folk radio. WUML.org also has featured some of my interviews, which is wonderful. Boston Voyager magazine has interviewed me for their Thought Provoker series on Boston artists. I was also featured numerous times by a style blog, Ruby Road, for my music and art, including their section, Women Who Inspire Us. Let's see. I've also recorded my own music. I'm a BMI songwriter. I'm a classically trained vocalist. I have a little EP called Sunflower. It's a little song that I wrote. Again, inspired by nature, inspired by sunflower. I have an album called Among the Stars that I recorded at Carriage House Studios. Another album called Homegrown that was recorded at home, and it's all cover songs, and that's why I call it Homegrown. Another self-titled album that was my first album. It's a very beautiful album. You can find that online. It's Lynn and Sean Witty, which was my first, and then some singles, Fine Line and Beautiful Kindness, which was inspired by Thich Nhat Hanh, and I wrote that for a songwriter's show. And then recording credits include Vanessa Williams, Star Bright, Rob Mathis, William and the Angel, Christmas is Coming, Evening Train, Wheelbarrow, Trinity Church Live, Holiday Time, Soap Opera Christmas, numerous projects for Maranatha, Steve Green, The First Noel, numerous projects with Tim Janis and Carriage House Studios, And then PBS has featured me as a special guest artist on 2 nationally broadcast programs, Beautiful America with George Clooney and An American Christmas Carol with James Earl Jones. And sadly, I did not get to meet either one of them as they were recorded separately, but both of those projects can be found online. The PBS projects, you can watch them online. Anyone can see them online. They're beautifully recorded. The PBS shows with George Clooney, Beautiful America, and American Christmas Carol. And then selected performances include Carnegie Hall, Symphony Hall, Centennial Hall in Arizona.
What is it like to be at Carnegie Hall? Tell me about
Carnegie Hall, well, you know what they say, practice, practice, practice. I have to say that is by far my largest performance ever. It was a life goal of mine to perform there. And that was with Tim Janis as well. It was a wonderful performance. It was in front of 5,000 people. I had a high school friend was there. I had a couple of girlfriends came. My family was there. They came and sat up. One of my children fell asleep, but that's okay. No, it was wonderful. I got a standing ovation. It was lovely. It was wonderful. It was certainly a thrill to be there. It was an honor to be a special guest vocalist. It was lovely. It was wonderful. And I also performed at Symphony Hall.
Tell me about Symphony Hall.
I was invited to come for a benefit gala, and Leslie Odom Jr. was the star that night.
Who was?
Leslie Odom Jr. I didn't even know about his work before the show, but a lot of people who do Broadway know him. And I came, and I was invited to. They wanted to hear a Patsy Cline song for the show, and so I came and I sang "Crazy" by Patsy Cline. That was crazy, and that was the song that I wanted to hear. And it was beautiful. Also got a standing ovation. Lots of photos. Robert Kraft was there. Got a photo with Robert Kraft. He wanted a photo with me. It was wonderful. It was a thrill. Let's see what else. The Performing Arts Center at Purchase College, New York. The Burren. I sang there, the back room, numerous times. Comic Strip, New York. I did that as a kid. We used to sing there as on the weekends, as I mentioned. Something Different New York was this cute little dessert shop that we used to sing there with talent agents. And that was certainly wonderful. Kris Kringle, the musical, New York City, Manhattan Theater Club, Merrill Auditorium in Maine, Portsmouth Music Hall, New Hampshire, Soul Fest, New Hampshire, which is a Christian music festival which brings thousands of people there. I went there numerous times and did shows. Tres Gatos, which is a lovely place, and in JP, Westchester Broadway Theater, New York. So that's.
And you are a writer, correct?
I do. I write.
Have you written your story of all your travels? I mean, it's amazing to hear this recitation of all these places, all these things you've done. It's mind-boggling.
Oh gosh!
And to put it in a book would be like out of this world.
Oh my goodness! Well, a book, I haven't thought of that. Although, it would be great to do a little children's book. I would love to do that or something like that. And I would certainly like to do more singing and write. I hadn't thought about a book, but I do write my own music, and I taught numerous places as a private school teacher. I worked in the nonprofit world. I was a professional worship leader for 27 years, meaning I got paid.
Tell me more about that.
I got paid to sing
I
numerous churches.
That's you're working with big groups.
Or
not.
I don't work in the groups. I come on Sunday. I show up and I lead worship in front of small churches, large churches, numerous churches. I don't do that anymore, but I did do that for years. It's so funny because at one point, as a teacher, I was teaching in a temple during the week, and then I was leading worship in a church on Sunday, and then I also was working for a nonprofit organization, working in a mosque also one day a week. So within a week, I was working in a mosque, working in a temple, and then working in a church all in 1 week.
In what community was this?
Oh, this is all in Massachusetts. This is all in Massachusetts. So this is when we were living in Newton. And I was working for a singing in a church on Sunday, working for a temple in Needham, and then I was also working for a nonprofit organization that was a global organization. And in the morning, sometimes I would pop online and I would work with students in Nigeria and at Joy Village, Nigeria. And then I would go into work with Malik Academy in Boston with students and at the mosque there.
What are your favorite techniques for staying socially positive in so many varying environments? Because, you're able to go into different social environments and really perform at your A game, right? This would make a lot of people very nervous just to even go to a regular environment where they go all the time, if you will, and to be out, in various diverse groups.
Really?
I really think is if you don't recognize it, I think everyone who listens to this podcast will recognize that your ability to move about with such grace and such ease and such ability to positive influence people and groups.
Well, it's interesting because I don't think twice about it. First
I know.
of all, I am not part of the group. I am leading the group.
Yeah.
And so I am teaching the group, I am leading the group, and I am not part of the group. So
you're an outsider, sort of, too.
I'm not an outsider. I'm not an outsider. I am always myself.
Yeah.
So remember, if I am coming in to do something, I'm getting hired to do it.
Okay.
And I'm also, I'm picking a project. So I'm a project-based leader. So if I'm going in to do something, I'm going in to do it for a time. It's not a lifestyle choice. So I'm going in as the teacher. I'm going in to do a commercial project, going in to do a commercial. Let's just say I'm going in, smart water. Are you available to do smart water? Absolutely. And then I leave and then I'm done. Or I'm going in to work at the temple. The temple is a beautiful place to work. Why wouldn't you want to work at the temple? And
I agree.
Beautiful place to work. The mosque, beautiful place to work. Why wouldn't you want to work in the mosque? Beautiful sacred space to work. Same thing with the church. I go in, I come in, I bring some music, maybe a solo or two, or I come in. They want me to do some traditional hymns or some contemporary songs, and then I come in and I do my music and then I leave. But I'm not there all night long hanging out as part of a group. That's it. I leave. And I bring something special, and then that's my gift. This is my gift and what I'm bringing. Same thing as the teacher. I come in, and this is what we're going to do today, and then I bring it. And same thing when I'm starting something. I have a vision and a plan for what it is I want to start and what it is I want to do. And I have an idea for what I want to do. And then I pick people that I think would be a good group of people to start something. And then I make a decision for what it is I want to start. And I look at the budget and the plan, and then I pick the right leaders and the right group, or I don't start it. And then that's it. Or if they have a budget and they ask me to do something special, then I think through, is this something that I think is going to work? Or I look at it and say, this is not something that's going to work. And then I go from there. But I'm not a part of everything that's doing all day long. Because if it's going to drain me or it's not going to work, then I can't. And usually I will say, this is not going to work or this is going to work. And that's one of my strengths, is knowing what's going to work and what's not going to work.
Sounds like often that's intuition on your part.
It's not intuition.
Okay.
It's something else. It's just, I'm a decision maker, and I know it's just I have a plan, and I know how to do it. So that's how
Have you worked with any
part of my skill
charities
set.
and any business charities?
I don't do charities, but I do. But with that said, if there's a charity that brought me in to do something, a large project, and they had a big budget for something, and they wanted to hire me to do something, like Symphony Hall wants to do something, and they want to bring me on for a huge, huge project, and they want to hire me to do some big thing for a long term. They have what's their strategy? What's their long-term strategy? What's their vision? What's their plan? Then I'm looking at it and I want to see. That's what I'm looking at. And so, but I love that, and I'm all about that. And I'm all about doing things that are very, very beautiful. And so,
Well, I'm hearing, if I'm hearing you right,
I'm all about beautiful.
that this is, you're getting work done with groups of people.
Well, it's not. It's. I do like groups, but I also do things independently, on my own. I'm very independent, and I can work well. But I do like doing things with people, and I do, and I am definitely good at that as well.
Do you have a preference in terms of solitude or group artistic expression?
Solitude or group artistic expression. It depends on what it is. If I'm preparing for something, for performance, I need absolute peace and quiet. I need time to prepare. And I absolutely do not want a group around me, because I need to get my A game on. I need to get myself ready for a performance, and I cannot have people distracting me. So if you're getting ready to go and do a show, you can't have people around you. You have to be ready and prepared. You have to be ready for that performance. Or if you're writing something, or if you're getting a lesson plan ready, or if you're getting ready to go write, you come up with ideas to write a song, or your work. But at the same time, if you're writing a song together, you might do it with a group of people. You might say, hey, let's write a song together. This is great. So it just depends on what the project is. But if I'm getting up, if you say, Lynn, I'd love to have you come and do a performance at Carnegie Hall or Symphony Hall, there's no way I can be distracted or disrupted with a group. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it does take a group to make something beautiful, a beautiful project like that happen. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. In terms of your interest in painting,
Yes.
have you checked out any of the studios that are doing drawing?
Drawing. So I am not great at drawing, but I do think that there are people who are fantastic at drawing. My youngest son, for example, is amazing with drawing. What he does with drawing is amazing. I have artists on both sides of my family that are professional artists. I'm great with painting. Painting is my thing, but I just do it without thinking. I just kind of go and I don't worry about it. I paint. Drawing is not my first skill set, but I Who do you know that draws, or what would you suggest with drawing?
Let's take that offline.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
many options.
Great.
And I start
Love to see it.
to stumble over.
Yeah,
my
drawing is not
mind
my
to-
first love skill set, but I have to say that all three of my kids are artistic too, and on both sides of my family are are artists, but drawing is not my first love.
Ron Fortier is an
What
artist. He does a lot of abstract work.
I do abstract work.
I know that.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's done some representational too. So anyway, but I know that you've done the abstract work, and it's lovely painting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy.
I love it. I love it. I just love it so much.
It seems that what part of your success is an ability to focus. Do you have any ability or any secrets for us who have difficulty with focusing at times? Yeah, if you have any ideas, because you seem to really be able to do that and accomplish, as we just talked about. Yeah, the secret for keeping the focus, or is that innate, which is okay? That's cool.
Well, I would say that when it comes focus.
Yeah.
First of all, I would say that there's nothing wrong with daydreaming. There's nothing wrong with taking a break, and there's nothing wrong with checking out a little bit. It's natural. And that is your brain's way of saying, I need a break, and we all do that. With that said, focusing, when you find something that you are passionate about and something that you really, really love, you will find focus. And you will find that when you are really, really, really in love with something, there's your focus. And when you go into that direction of that focus and that passion, you will find energy. And when you find that energy, you don't have to force it. And it's there. It is there. And then when you channel your energy in that place, it's natural. It's innate. And you don't have to worry about it. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what? Everything else, who cares? If you check out, if you don't feel like doing it, if it doesn't work, take a break. Daydream a little bit. Say, I need a break from this. This doesn't work for me right now. Or I don't like this. This doesn't work for me. You know what that is? That's your body's way of saying, or your brain's way of saying, this isn't for me. This isn't working. I need a break. This isn't the right time. This is not appropriate for me, or this isn't on task for me right now. And that is called listening to yourself. And that is my way of saying, doesn't work. And when I find something that I'm in love with or I want to do, I pay attention. And I also pay attention to other people and what they want. And you know what? I mostly listen to myself. Whatever they're doing is what they're doing. What I want is what I want. And I always know what I want to do. And that's it.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go.
I love that.
That's the secret.
That is an awesome secret. And thank you for sharing that. A lot of that brings to mind a lot of the yoga work I've been doing, and
Interesting.
so there's a lot of parallels there.
Perfect. I didn't know that with yoga.
So, well, there's aspects.
Learn something new with yoga.
So thank you very much for that. That was
Interesting.
great. So, I mean, this is the deal that I mean, do you have some projects? I'll throw it out there that you and I are just tossing around the idea of doing some songs and maybe presenting them at an open mic, including the vault. But with some, I mean, this is your chance here, Lynn, to share what you want to talk about, moving forward, or projects, hopes, dreams. This is an opportunity here. So,
Projects, hopes, and dreams.
Reflections,
Hopes, and dreams.
take a moment too.
Well, I would say certainly I believe in being where you are and enjoying your life where you are and being present in where you are. And also at the same time, being happy with your own accomplishments and what you have already done. And I feel like in this life, you'll have many beautiful things. And I have had many beautiful things. I've been lucky to have many beautiful things and many beautiful people and many beautiful accomplishments. And I believe in manifesting my own future and looking towards the future. And I'm a person that's always future forward. And so I am always looking towards the future and looking ahead. And I believe that those gorgeous future, beautiful things are going to come. And so I'm always looking towards new projects and always feeling relaxed about hopes and dreams, and thinking that hopefully life will be long and that I will be able to manifest those wonderful things, that I will be able to keep singing, painting, enjoying my children, my adult children, and enjoying wonderful things in my life and happiness, and just relaxing and not pushing things.
Well, you've been pushed. I mean, you've been working hard.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
so this is a good opportunity to breathe it in and
Yeah.
and have the moment, have the
Yes.
presence.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We can follow this up if you want, or we can wrap it up now, Lynn. It's up to you. I would like to talk about beauty, if you're interested, in terms of a philosophical sense, as it relates to human existence, but it's up to you.
Well, I don't know what to say on that topic, actually. I don't know how to answer that question, or if it can be answered, except that beauty is important to me, and it's incorporated in my work, and it's a part of what I do, and it's a part of what inspires me, and it's clearly everything to me. And
I think that's what artists seek, is expression of beauty.
Absolutely.
Even if it's at times repugnant, there's an aspect of beauty in it.
Yeah.
Which sort of, for me, makes the aspect of beauty inseparable from the opposite. And so that's sort of the world that I go in, is that in and out of beauty and ugliness. and life and the struggles that I feel in terms of the waves of beauty and the waves of disgust and ugliness. And for me, it's dealing with that tension oftentimes between the two and seeking, like you talked about, seeking the beauty and the pursuit of that, but struggling with the ugliness that keeps rearing its ugly head. And that's, for me, part of what I try to learn from others about and how to deal with that push-pull, of the bright and then the dark, the shadow. And both are deeply moving for me, and I think some other people too.
Sounds like a great song or a great painting. You have the
Well,
bright
thank
and the
you.
dark. You have in the singer-songwriter, or in a painting, you have to have a little light and a little dark, or in a film, or in a play or a musical. There's always some of that in there, but I feel like there's always beauty. I mean, beauty to me is everything, and
I agree with that too.
it
I
exists.
agree that
It just
everything
exists. Yeah.
has beauty, because it's the presence moving forward, and if there's movement, there's beauty. I think that's the way I look at it. The movement and beauty. I think they're almost synonymous, rather than static and
If
finite.
there's movement. To me, if I don't intentionally see, I need in my life regular exposure to things that are life-giving. And so, to me, things that are life-giving are different than to other people, for other people. And so for me, that which is life-giving might be one thing than for someone else. And so for me, that which is beautiful is one thing for me. And for someone else, they might not need that. They might need complete solitude or something else. But for me, it's beauty, 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 beauty. It's lots of light filled. It's lots of clean. It's lots of organization. It's lots of
Would you say nurturement? Would that beauty include nurturement?
gorgeous things. Well,
not
I'm
as much?
I'm just a nurturer, but I don't need nurturement because I don't need nurturement. So I am 100% do that for myself, and I do that for other people. So I'm a mom. So I have 3 boys and whatever, so I don't need nurturement. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
So, I would say, I had a stack of coffee. I used to collect coffee table books, and I had a stack of them. I started collecting them in high school. So for me, it's, again, my first coffee table book was on art. And so, again, what is that about? Beauty. So, does that make sense? And then
Yes.
it was, I was a professional makeup artist.
My coffee table, we had an anatomy book.
Right. And so you were an anatomy book. And then I was a professional makeup artist.
It wasn't all pretty.
Out of college. And so, again, what is that about? Beauty. I was a makeup artist, professional makeup artist. And then I lived on the beach. And what is that about? Beauty. And so for me, it's and effortlessly chic. All of my furniture was white slipcover furniture, and all the paintings in our home were original art. And so again, clean, beauty, healthy, pretty, everything's pretty. Organized, lots of pets, not lots of pets, one dog, one cat, everything pretty. So, this is my home, my family, and what can I tell you?
It sounds beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And New Bedford is too, in this later on this spring, maybe.
I think spring is lovely. I love it because of all the flowering trees. I love flowers. I love the beach.
I live in a commercial area in New Bedford, and I see a lot of trucks, and I can't tell you how many big trucks I had to go around today just to get a mile to the highway. So anyway,
okay.
That's been in my mind that I'm expressing now. Thank you for listening to that, Lynn.
Oh.
We're going to wrap it up, unfortunately, but we could go on and on as far as I'm concerned and learn more about you, Lynn. And thank you so much for sharing
Thank you, Max.
deep conversation today.
Wonderful. It was a pleasure.
Anything
Nice.
else before we wrap it up?
No, this was really, really great.
All right, thank
and
you.
Really a pleasure. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the South Coast Artist Index podcast. For more information, please visit theartistindex.com.